Men, the most dangerous affairs aren't the obvious ones. They're the ones hidden in plain sight. Female psychology shows us that cheating women don't just lie. They use clever psychological tricks to make their affairs practically invisible. These aren't random behaviors. They're calculated strategies designed to exploit trust and manipulate perception. Today, I'll expose 7 tricks women use to make their affairs invisible, backed by behavioral psychology and real-world patterns. Before we dive in, hit subscribe and drop a comment if you've ever noticed one of these tricks. It might save another man from being blindsided. Understanding these psychological tactics isn't about paranoia. It's about recognizing patterns that could protect your emotional and financial investment in a relationship. Trick 1. The contact camouflage strategy. The first trick involves something every woman carries: her phone. Smart cheating women understand that obvious contact names are relationship suicide, so they employ what psychologists call contextual camouflage. Instead of saving her lover's number under his real name, she transforms it into something completely innocent and forgettable. David becomes Dr. Stevens. Marcus transforms into Mum's friend Sarah. Jake disappears entirely, replaced by it support. This isn't accidental, it's strategic psychological warfare. The human brain processes familiar, non-threatening information differently than suspicious data. When you glance at her phone and see dentist office, calling at 9 p.m., your mind automatically categorizes it as normal, even if the timing seems odd. The psychology behind this trick runs deeper than simple deception. Women using this strategy understand that men often perform quick visual scans of their partner's phone rather than detailed investigations. By choosing mundane, professional, or family-related names, they exploit your brain's tendency to dismiss boring information. The contact name, Sarah from yoga, doesn't trigger the same mental alarm as hot guy from work. What makes this particularly insidious is how it weaponizes your trust. Every time you see these innocent contact names and don't question them, you're unconsciously reinforcing the deception's effectiveness. Your brain learns that these contacts are safe, making future interactions with them seem increasingly normal. Trick 2. The digital disguise method. Modern technology offers countless ways to hide communication, and clever women exploit apps that appear completely innocent on the surface. This psychological trick leverages what researchers call functional camouflage, hiding something dangerous inside something boring or expected. Calculator apps that require special passcodes to reveal hidden message threads, photo vault applications disguised as weather apps, encrypted messaging platforms that look like fitness trackers or recipe organizers. The psychology here is brilliant. These apps exploit your assumptions about technology and gender stereotypes. Most men don't expect their partners to be tech-savvy enough to use sophisticated hiding techniques. This cognitive bias works in her favor. When you see a period tracker app on her phone, your brain immediately categorizes it as private female territory and looks away. Meanwhile, that app might be housing months of intimate conversations with her affair partner. The genius of this approach lies in its psychological invisibility. Unlike obviously suspicious behavior, these hidden communication channels operate in plain sight. She can text her lover while sitting right next to you, appearing to check the weather or calculate a tip. This method doesn't just hide evidence, it allows ongoing deception without creating suspicious behavior patterns. Women employing this trick understand male psychology particularly well. They know most men won't systematically investigate every app on their partner's phone, especially apps that seem feminine or mundane. This creates a perfect psychological blind spot where extensive communication can occur undetected. Trick 3. The alibi anchor system. Perhaps the most psychologically sophisticated trick involves creating what experts call alibi anchors, repeated, believable excuses that become normalized through repetition. This isn't random lying. It's systematic conditioning of your expectations and trust patterns. Girls' Night Out transforms from an occasional event into a weekly routine. Working late becomes so common, you stop asking about it. Helping my sister with her kids appears frequently enough to seem natural, but irregularly enough to avoid predictable patterns. The psychological principle at work here is habituation. Your brain's tendency to stop noticing things that happen regularly. The brilliance of this system lies in its exploitation of relationship trust dynamics. Loyal partners naturally want to support their loved ones' friendships, career dedication, and family obligations. By anchoring her deceptions in socially positive activities, she makes questioning her look like relationship sabotage rather than reasonable concern. What makes alibi anchors particularly effective is their emotional manipulation component. When you express doubt about her frequent family emergencies, she can legitimately act hurt that you'd question her dedication to loved ones. This psychological jujitsu turns your suspicion into guilt, making you less likely to investigate future alibis. The timing of these anchors also demonstrates psychological sophistication. They typically occur during periods when verification would be difficult or socially inappropriate, late evenings, weekends, or during your own busy periods. This strategic timing exploits your schedule and social constraints to minimize the chance of accidental discovery. Trick 4. The over-explanation trap. Honest people typically provide simple, direct answers to straightforward questions. Deceptive individuals, however, often fall into what psychologists call elaboration anxiety, providing excessive details to make lies seem more believable. This psychological phenomenon becomes a powerful tool in the hands of calculating women. When she returns from a supposed work dinner, an honest woman might say, "It was fine, went to that Italian place downtown." A cheating woman employing over-explanation might launch into an elaborate narrative. "We went to Tony's, the one Sarah recommended last month, and I sat between Jennifer from accounting and that new marketing guy whose name I can never remember. The service was incredibly slow, probably because it was raining and they were understaffed. I had the chicken masala, but it was overcooked, and Jennifer complained about her salmon being too salty." The psychological trap here works in multiple ways. First, excessive details create an illusion of transparency and honesty. Your brain interprets detailed information as more credible than vague responses. Second, the overwhelming amount of information makes it difficult to identify inconsistencies or ask follow-up questions without seeming obsessive. Women using this trick understand that men often prefer to avoid lengthy conversations about mundane daily activities. By making her deception stories long and boring, she exploits your natural desire to end the conversation quickly. The paradox is that her oversharing actually discourages the deeper inquiry that might expose her lies. The most sophisticated practitioners of this technique include verifiable details mixed with fabrications, real restaurant names, actual co-workers mentioned briefly, genuine complaints about weather or traffic. These authentic elements provide psychological anchors that make the entire story seem credible, even when key elements are completely fictional. Trick 5. The Digital Evidence Elimination Protocol. In our technology-saturated world, digital trails create the most dangerous evidence of infidelity. Smart cheating women develop systematic approaches to digital evidence destruction that go far beyond simple deletion. This trick exploits the fact that most people don't understand how digital information actually works. Call logs get deleted immediately after suspicious conversations. Text message threads disappear regularly, but not completely, leaving just enough innocent communication to seem normal if you glance at her phone. Browser histories get cleared, but she maintains some normal browsing activity to avoid creating obvious gaps. Email accounts that you don't know about get created for affair-related communication. The psychological sophistication here lies in understanding male investigation patterns. Most men don't conduct forensic-level digital investigations of their partners. They might glance at recent calls or scroll through recent texts, but they rarely dig into deleted files, hidden folders, or secondary accounts. This creates a perfect opportunity for systematic evidence destruction. What makes this particularly effective is the illusion of transparency it creates. Her phone appears open and accessible, with normal amounts of communication visible. You can pick it up any time and see typical daily interactions, work calls, family texts, routine internet browsing. The absence of suspicious content feels like proof of innocence rather than evidence of sophisticated deletion. The timing of evidence elimination also demonstrates psychological awareness. Deletions happen during private moments when detection is impossible, while you're sleeping, in the bathroom, or distracted by other activities. This systematic approach ensures that evidence never accumulates to dangerous levels while maintaining the appearance of normal phone usage. Trick 6. The defensive deflection strategy. When suspicion does arise, the most psychologically sophisticated women don't deny or defend, they attack. This trick exploits fundamental relationship dynamics and gender communication patterns to turn your concerns into relationship problems that you caused. "Why don't you trust me?" becomes her standard response to any questioning. Your being paranoid shifts focus from her behavior to your mental state. This jealousy is destroying our relationship, makes you the problem, not her actions. The psychological principle at work here is projection, transferring blame and responsibility away from the guilty party onto the innocent one. This strategy is particularly effective because it exploits healthy relationship values against you. Trust, communication, and respect are positive relationship elements that most men want to preserve. By framing your suspicion as a violation of these values, she makes you feel guilty for having reasonable concerns about unusual behavior. The emotional manipulation component of this trick is especially insidious. She might become tearful about your lack of trust, angry about your accusations, or hurt that you would think so little of her. These emotional responses exploit most men's desire to comfort and protect their partners, creating psychological pressure to apologize and withdraw your concerns. What makes this deflection particularly powerful is how it prevents investigation while appearing to address your concerns. Instead of providing reassurance through transparency or changed behavior, she makes the conversation about your relationship problems. This shifts all energy away from examining her activities and onto fixing your trust issues. Trick 7. The guilt-driven overcompensation technique. The final and perhaps most psychologically complex trick involves using guilt as a motivation for increased positive behavior toward you. This isn't conscious kindness, it's psychological overcompensation designed to reduce her internal guilt while creating a smokescreen for her deception. Sudden increases in physical affection, unexpected gifts, unusual cooking of your favorite meals, or surprising agreement with your preferences all can indicate guilt-driven overcompensation. The psychology here exploits the fact that positive behavior typically reduces suspicion and increases relationship satisfaction, creating emotional barriers to investigation. Random acts of kindness from someone engaged in systematic deception serve multiple psychological purposes. They reduce her own guilt feelings about betraying you. They create positive associations in your mind that counterbalance any nagging doubts. They demonstrate proof of her love and commitment that she can reference during defensive moments. The timing of overcompensation behaviors often correlates with affair activities. Extra sweetness might appear after particularly intense encounters with her lover. Unexpected gifts could follow periods of extensive secret communication. Special attention might increase when affair relationships become more serious or emotionally complex. What makes this technique particularly dangerous is how it exploits your emotional attachment and positive expectations. Receiving unexpected kindness from your partner naturally feels good and reinforces your desire to trust her. Your brain interprets her positive behavior as evidence of her love and loyalty, making it psychologically difficult to maintain suspicious thoughts.